Right. So we start with some Kirtan, Prabhu, is that correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, we start with Kirtan, please.
Okay. Anyone would like to do Kirtan? You want me to do the Kirtan, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, it has been a long time after hear you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
No problem. So have a good karta, but clap. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, should we start? Or any plans? Amoga Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Should we start, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Oh,
Prabhuji. Yes, yes, please.
so, right.
Are you sharing the screen, Prabhuji?
I will be, yes.
Thank you,
Uh,
Prabhuji.
so, Hare Krishna, everyone. Asha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Prabhavati Sachi Devi Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming this evening to listen to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So, we just do the Mangalacharana prayers and then we can go straight into our topic. So, Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितानश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So, maybe you can unmute your uh, phone or your microphone. If you can repeat after me, please. Um, so, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ
ॐ नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय.
Jai. Thank you very much. You. I hope you are with me, even though I cannot see you in the camera, and you don't drift away. So, because I will not be able to see you because I'm going to share the screen now. Just to mention that I've been asked by Amoga Prabhu to discuss on chapter 6 of on the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is a series of lectures given in New York by Srila Prabhupada over a period of, I think, 5 days. I just wanted to say that this topic is a bit complex, a little bit, how do we say, take time to grasp, actually, because there's quite a lot of things, technical things described. But I will try to make it as simple as possible. I have come across a picture which I can share, and then devotees can actually see, view, and understand a little bit better. But just to let you know that this particular chapter we are discussing, if you do not understand everything fully, do not worry, because it took myself a bit of time to understand. I had to read and read and read again and again. And if you have any difficulty to understand anything, at the end of my talk, you can ask the questions. And you can go back and read on this chapter yourself. I will signpost you to a few verses where it gives a bit more clarity on the discussion we're doing. So that can help. But again, if you don't understand, you feel that it's a bit difficult to grasp, do not worry. You are not the only person. But in that case, you need to go back and read again and again and again. And I'm sure you will get it after deliberating on this topic and reading it a few times. So I'm going to share the screen now, and then we can discuss on these topics. So, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, is there anyone who would like to read? Maybe devotees can take maybe one one paragraph at a turn, if that's okay with you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I start with first
Yeah,
paragraph, Prabhuji?
you can, yeah.
So, chapter 6. His forms are one and the same. By devotional service, one can understand that Krishna, first of all, manifests himself as Swayam his personal form, then as Tad Ekatma Rupa, and then as Avesha Rupa. It is these three features that he manifests himself in his transcendental form. The feature of Swayam Rupa is the form by which Krishna can be understood by one who may not understand his other features. In other words, the form by which Krishna is directly understood is called Swayam Rupa, or his personal form. The Ekatma Rupa is that form which most resembles the Swayam Rupa, but there are some differences in the bodily features. The Tad Ekatma Rupa is divided into two manifestations, the personal expansion Swamsha and the pastime expansion Vilasa. As far as the Avesha Rupa is concerned, when Krishna empowers some suitable living entity to represent him, that living entity is called Avesha Rupa or Sektavesha Avatara. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Um, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share another screen side by side so that you can actually understand what is going on here. So I was doing a bit of research and then I came across this particular screen. Okay, I'm going to go again on this particular chapter, sorry, paragraph, and then I'll explain as we go along because just want to let you know if you miss one step, you will find a difficulty to understand the next step. So please bear with me and please follow with a picture on the right hand side, and then you will be able to understand easier. So, by devotional service, one can understand that Krishna first of all manifests himself as Swayam Rupa. So that's his personal form. So here, Krishna in his original form, as you can see in the picture here, the original form of Krishna as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, that's his Swayam Rupa, his original form. That's Krishna himself. So uh, if someone through devotional service, by practicing devotional service, one is able to understand Krishna as the original personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. Then as Tadikatma Rupa, and then as Avesha Rupa. So Krishna also has two other different forms, which is the Tadikatma Rupa, which is here, right at the bottom here. And then you have the Avesha Rupa, which is right at the bottom here, right? So all this, we will go through all this. You will get a bit of understanding what's going on here. So Krishna has got Swayam Rupa, the Dekatma Rupa, and then Avesha Rupa. Right? So in these three features that he manifests himself in his transcendental form, the feature of Swayam Rupa is the form by which Krishna can be understood by one who may not understand his other features. So if you do not understand all this from here to here, if you cannot understand all this, but at least if you
Prabhu,
know this,
Hare
if you
Krishna,
understand this,
Prabhuji.
yeah, sorry.
We can't see the other screen.
You
Is
can't see. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me see what I can do here. New share. Hmm. Okay, there you are. Can you see now?
yes, Prabhuji.
Can you see that picture now?
Yes.
Okay. So I go back again. By devotional service, one can understand that Krishna first of all manifests himself as Swayam Rupa. So this is Krishna here, Swayam Rupa. Swayam Rupa. So that's Krishna, the original form. The original form of Krishna as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. That's his Swayam Rupa. That's his original form. So he first of all manifests in this Rupa. So that's him, his personal form. Then as Tadatma, Tadikatma Rupa. So Tadikatma Rupa, as you can see, is here. Tadikatma Rupa. We will go through it in a minute. and then as Avesha Rupa. So Avesha Rupa, as you can see, is right at the bottom here. Okay. So in these three features that he manifests himself in his transcendental form. So these are his transcendental form. This Swayam Rupa, this Tadikatma Rupa, and this Avesha Rupa. That is transcendental form. He manifests himself in three different forms. The feature of Swayam Rupa is a form by which Krishna can be understood by one who may not understand his other features. Now, if someone cannot understand all this, like from the Tadikatma Rupa up till here, if one cannot understand all these features, at least if one understand and fixed in mind in devotional service on this Rupa, they will be able to understand Krishna. They will be able to understand Krishna. In other words, the form by which Krishna is directly understood is called Swayam Rupa. So the form by which Krishna is directly understood is this Rupa, the original form. Huh? Okay, his personal form. The Tadikatma Rupa is that form which most resembles the Swayam Rupa, but there are some differences in his bodily features. Right? The Tadikatma Rupa is divided into two manifestations, the Swamsa and the pastime expansion, Vilasa. Okay, so the Tadikatma Rupa is actually expanded. So Krishna has got this original form, and then expands again. He expands again into the Tadikatma Rupa, and then he expands in the Swamsa Rupa. So the Tadikatma Rupa has got two other expansions, two other branches, which is the Swamsa, which is this. We'll come to it in a minute. And the pastime expansion, Vilasa. So this Vilasa is this pastime expansion. So these are expansions where he performed his pastimes. Mm? And then the Somsha are his own personal expansions again. Okay. As far as the Avesha Rupa is concerned, when Krishna empowers some suitable living entity to represent him, that living entity is called Avesha Rupa or Shakti Avesha Avatar. So, like for example, like you can see here, that's the third expansion of Krishna. A living entity who is specifically empowered by the Lord with knowledge or strength. Like for example, Prabhupada is considered to be a Shakti Avesha Avatar, and Lord Jesus Christ also considered to be a Shakti Avesha Avatar. Yeah? So, like this. Now, the next chapter, the next paragraph, sorry. Uh, can anyone read this next paragraph, please? Anyone willing to read the next paragraph? Amar Prabhu, I can see you have joined. Would you like to read the next paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji. I shall read the next paragraph.
Oh, okay, go for it. Yeah.
The personal form of Krishna can be divided into two, Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakasha. As far as his Swayam Rupa for pastime form is concerned, it is in that form that he remains always in Vrindavana with the inhabitants of Vrindavana. These personal forms, Swayamrupa, can be further divided into Prabhava and Vaibhava forms. For example, Krishna expanded himself in multiple forms during the Rasa dance in order to dance with each and every gopi who took part in that dance. Similarly, he expanded himself into 16,108 forms in Dwaraka when he married 16,108 wives. There are some instances of great mystics expanding their bodily forms by the yoga process. But Krishna did not expand himself in that way. In Vedic history, Saubhari Rishi expanded himself into 8 forms by the yoga process. But those expansions were simply reflections, for Saubhari remained one. But when Krishna manifested himself in different forms, each and every one of them was separate individual. When Narada Muni visited Krishna at his different palaces in Dwaraka. He was astonished at this. And yet, Narada is never astonished to see the expansions of a yogi's body, since he knows the trick himself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for this. Okay, so the personal form of Krishna can be divided into two, Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakasha, as we can see here. Swayam Rupa, and he expands again into Swayam Prakasha Rupa. As far as his Swayam Rupa is concerned, it is in that form that he remains always in Vrindavan with the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So that's his original Vrindavan cowherd form, Shama Sundar form. This personal form, Swayam Rupa, can be further divided into Prabhava and Vaibhava. So this Swayam Rupa, own expansion, can be divided into Prabhava and then Vaibhava. So, for example, Krishna expanded himself in multiple forms during the Rasa dance in order to dance with each and every gopi who took part in that dance. So when Krishna expanded in 16,108 different Krishnas to be with all the gopis, that's an expansion of himself, which is the Prabhava Prakash, which is, that form is called a Prabhava Prakash. Okay. Similarly, when he married the 16,108 wives in Dwarka, that's the same principle. It's the Prabhava Prakash. Now, there is Vaibhava forms also. So the Vaibhava form is actually a form of himself, but with a different type of emotion. Like, for example, you have Balram, and then you have Narayan form in the four-handed form. That's Vaibhava Prakash. That's another form of himself, which is like, for example, as I said, Balram and Narayan. So his form is differently manifested according to different emotional features. Right? So we read about this. For example, Krishna, so we've done that. And then Prabhupada explains here, there are some instances of great mystics expanding their bodily forms by yoga process. So there are some yogic powers, some yogis who have acquired yogic powers, and they are able to expand themselves. Hmm? One of the Ashtasiddhis, one of the eight perfection is one can expand himself. One can be present in two different places at one time. But here, Prabhupada explains it is not the same as how the mystic yogis are doing. Right? He says here, but Krishna did not expand himself in that way. In Vedic history, Shobhara Rishi expanded himself into 8 forms by the yoga process. But those expansions were simply reflections, for Shobhari remained one. But when Krishna manifested himself in different forms, each and every one of them was a separate individual. So when Shobhari, the example given is Shobhari Rishi also manifested himself, but Shobhari actually remained one person, and from him, another expanded, another came. But when Krishna expands, it's not one person, it's actually different Krishnas. The same Krishna, but in different manifestation, slightly different. I hope you're getting the gist, what's happening here. So, but when Krishna manifested himself in different forms, each and every one of them was a separate individual. This can be proved in the Bhagavad. There is this incident where Narad Muni has actually witnessed this and made a comment. Narad Muni visited Krishna at his different palaces in Dwarka. He was astonished at this. Why would Narad Muni be astonished? Because Narad Muni himself, he's a perfected yogi. He can himself expand himself. He has got all the Ashtasiddhis. Prabhupada explains here, and yet Narada is never astonished to see the expansions of a yogi's body. So when Narad Muni sees the yogis expanding, he's not astonished. But when he sees Krishna expanding, he's very astonished. The reason is because, as I explained, Krishna expands, but it's not one original expanding into another one, another one. It's actually one Krishna and another Krishna and another Krishna. So they're all basically original. But the yogis, when they expand, they have got one, and then from them they expand. So there's one original and one secondary. So there's a slight difference here. So Narad Muni is not astonished when he sees the yogis, but when he sees Krishna, he gets astonished because when he went to see him in Dwarka, he saw him with his 16,108 wives. He was in different places, different palaces, 16,108 palaces with 16,108 wives, all different Krishna, not the same one. So he was astonished, but he's not astonished when he sees a yogi because since he knows the trick himself, so Narad Muni actually knows himself how to expand, but not the way Krishna does. Hmm? So I hope it's clear. So now we go to the next paragraph. Anyone would like to read the next paragraph, please? Anyone will read the next paragraph?
Yes, Praveen. May
Shamataji, please go ahead.
I? Srimad Bhagavatam describes Narada Muni's astonishment at seeing Krishna's expansion in Dwaraka. Narada wondered how the Lord was present with his queens in each and every one in his 16,108 palaces. With each queen, Krishna himself was in a different form, acting in different ways. In one form, he was talking with his wife, in another form, he was petting his children, and in another form, he was performing some household duty. These different activities are conducted by the Lord when he is in his emotional forms, which are known as Vaibhava Prakasha expansions. Similarly, there are other unlimited expansions of Krishna's forms, but even when they are divided or expanded without limit, they are still one and the same. There is no difference between one form and another. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, so that's basically what I have actually explained here. Uh, Now the next paragraph. uh, Anyone would like to read? Amar Prabhu, I saw that you wanted to read. Can't hear you if you're talking. No, I can't hear you, Amar Prabhu. Maybe it's something to do with your mic. Okay. Maybe anybody else can read? Anyone would like to read, please? This paragraph? No? Okay. Anyway, I'll read it then. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 39, verse 44 to 57, it is stated that when Akrura was accompanying Krishna and Balaram from Gokul to Mathura, he entered the waters of the Yamuna river and could see all the planets of the spiritual sky. He also saw the Lord in his Vishnu form, as well as Narada and the four Kumar who were worshipping him. As stated in the Bhagavad Puran, Anye cha samskritat manu vidhina bhihitena te yajanti tvanmayastvam vai bahumurti eka murtikam. The Supreme Lord's many worshippers, the Vaishnavas or Aryans, are purified by the various processes of worship they perform according to their convictions and spiritual understanding. Each process of worship involves understanding different forms of the Lord, as mentioned in the scriptures, but the ultimate idea is to worship the Supreme Lord Himself. So it is said that Akrura, when he went to take his bath in the Yamuna River on his way to Mathura, from Vrindavan to Mathura, he saw Lord Vishnu, the Narad Muni, and the four Kumaras who were worshipping Lord Vishnu. Yeah, but the Bhagavatam said there are many worshippers, and they worship Krishna in his different forms according to their own realization, all conviction, and spiritual understanding. Mm. But the ultimate idea is to worship the Supreme Lord Himself, which is Swayam Rupa, Krishna, as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. In his Vaibhava Prakash feature, the Lord manifests himself as Balram. So here, the original Roop expands to Swayam Prakasha, where he expands himself into many forms. And for example, I mentioned about the gopis. He expands with the 1608 gopis, the Prince of Dwarka, and all this. From his Swayam Prakasha, another expansion, which is the Vaibhava Prakasha, and that's Balaram and Narayan, as I explained earlier. So Balaram is also a Vaibhava Prakash expansion of Krishna. Okay, uh, because it says that Vaibhava Prakash is similar to the Swayam Rupa, but there is a slight difference in the emotional features. Like Balaram, for example, he is whitish, and Narayan has got four-handed forms. So a slight difference, but they are originally Krishna himself. The only difference being that the Balaraman feature is as good as Krishna himself. The only difference being that Krishna's bodily hue is blackish and Balaram's is whitish. The Vaibhava Prakash form was also displayed when Krishna appeared before his mother Devaki in the form of the four-handed form of Narayan, just when he entered the world. Then, at the request of his parents, he transformed himself into a two-handed form. Thus, he sometimes manifests four hands and sometimes two. The two-handed form is the Vaibhava Prakash, and the four-handed form is the Prabhava Prakash. Right? So, in his personal form, Krishna is just like a cowherd boy, and he thinks of himself in that way. But when he is in the Vasudeva form, he thinks himself as the son of a Kshatriya, and he feels like a Kshatriya, a princely administrator. Right? So, like that. So, Krishna has got different expansions and different attributes in those different expansions. So, when he uh, he feels that he's a cowherd boy, that's his Swayam Rupa. But when he feels like he's Baram, that's his Vaibhava Prakash Rupa. Or he's four-handed, that's Narayan. So the example given here, for example, when he thinks he's a cowherd boy, he thinks like his personal form, his Shama Sundara is a cowherd boy. But when he thinks that he's the son of Vasudev, or he's in a Vasudev form, he thinks he's the son of a Kshatriya, he feels like a Kshatriya. So that's why we are talking here. It differs from the emotional features of Krishna. The Vaibhava Prakash is established when Krishna experiences different emotional features. Okay? So here, Balaram is one of the Vaibhava Prakash, and Narayan is one of the Vaibhava Prakash. Okay. Anyone would like to read the next paragraph, please? Anyone?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you now, Prabhu.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yeah,
So if
something
you
wrong with
start
the
with
thing.
this.
Yeah, now it's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes, Prabhu. Yeah. In his two-handed form as the coward son of Nanda Maharaja, Krishna fully exhibits his opulence, beauty, wealth, attractiveness, and pastimes. Indeed, in some Vaishnava literature, it is found that sometimes, in his form as Vasudeva, he becomes attracted to his form of Govinda in Vrindavana. Thus, as Vasudeva, he sometimes desires to enjoy as Govinda does, although the Govinda form and the Vasudeva form are ultimately one and the same. Then
Yeah. Keep going.
yeah,
You
it
want
is
me? Yeah.
yeah. In this regard, there is a passage in Lalita Madhava 4.19 in which Krishna addresses Uddhava as follows: My dear friend, the form of this cowherd boy Govinda attracts me. Indeed, I wish to be like the damsels of Raja who are also attracted by this form of Govinda. Similarly, later in the Lalita Madhava 8.34, Krishna says, Oh, how wonderful it is! Who is this person? After seeing him, I am so much attracted that I now desire to embrace him just like Radhika.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada is explaining that Krishna in one form exhibit different moods as well. Mm? Like he says, uh, when he's in two-handed form, he fully exhibits his six opulences, beauty, wealth, attractiveness, and all that. But in some literature, it's also found that even though he is in his form as Vasudev, he also become attracted to his form in Vrindavan, and he wants to be like the original. He wants to be even though he is Vasudev, he's not in his Swayam Rupa form. He still wants to be like uh, Govinda in Vrindavan. Right? Okay, next one. Uh, Anyone would like to read this next paragraph? Anyone? No? Okay. I'll read. Oh yeah, sorry. Who's gonna be? Meena Mataji, you want to read?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Mataji, please. Yeah.
There are innumerable four arms.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
There are also okay. There are also forms of Krishna that are little different from his original form, and they are called Rad, Tad, Tad Ektam Rupa forms. Tad Ekta Rupa forms. This may be further divided into the Vilasa and what is
Swamsha forms. Swamsha forms.
Shamsha forms. Okay. Shamsha forms, which is done have many different features and can be divided into Prabhava and Vaibhava forms. As far as the Vilasa forms are concerned, there are innumerable Prabhava Vilasas headed by Krishna's extensions as Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Sometimes the Lord thinks of himself as a coward boy, and sometimes he thinks of himself uh, as Vasudeva's son, Kshatriya prince, and that and this thinking of Krishna is called his pastime. Actually, he is the same form in his Vaibhava Prakash and Prabhava Vilas, but he appears different as Krishna and Balram. His expansions as Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are the original
Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha. Yeah.
Chaturvyuha, or four-armed forms. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So now it becomes a bit interesting. Yeah. There are also other forms of Krishna that are a little bit different from his original form, and these are called Tadikatma Rupa forms. As I mentioned, there are three transcendental forms of Krishna: Swayam Rupa, Tadikatma Rupa, and Avesha Rupa. Okay. Now we've talked about the Swayam Rupa. We are moving into the Tadikatma Rupa forms. So these may be further divided into Vilas and Swamsha forms. So they are divided into Vilas, past times expansion, and then the Swamsha forms. As you can see, one here and one here. This is all from Tadikatma. There are two expansions. Okay. As far as the Vilas forms are concerned, there are innumerable Prabhava Vilasa. Now, from the Vilasa form, he expands even more, one more time, and the expansion is called Prabhava Vilasa. And who are they? They are the Chaturvyuha. The Chaturvyuha, just for you to be, maybe to remind yourself, Krishna is is Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham, Tamaham Bhajam. And then from Krishna, there's Balaram. Okay. From Balaram, there is Sankarshan. Okay. From Sankarshan, this is where the Chaturvyuha comes from. Okay. Chaturvyuha comes. So from Barham, you have Sankarshan, and then you have Vasudeva, Anirudh, and Pradyumna. So this is the Chaturvyuha. Now, after the full expansion from Balram, okay, from Sankarshan, so Balram, Sankarshan, and then Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna comes, you have another Narayan who appears. That's creation, okay? You have Krishna, Balaram, Sankarshan, Vasudev, Anirudh, Pradyumna, and then Narayan. Now from Narayan, another Chaturvyuha appears. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anirudh. So this is how the expansions of Krishna are. I'll repeat again. Krishna, and then Balaram, and then you have Sankarshan, and then Vasudev, Anirudh, Pradyumna. And then from the Sankarshan, you have Narayan. From Narayan, you have another set of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, uh, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. There's two sets, okay? We stop here now. And then, so, as far as the Vilas forms are concerned, there are innumerable Prabhava Vilas headed by the expansions of Vasudev. So, from Tadikatma Rupa, you have in a form called Vilas. From Vilas, you have this Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. But now, that's some of them. But there are other innumerable forms also, like Prabhupada explains here. As far as Vilas form is concerned, there are innumerable Prabhava Vilas, innumerable Prabhava Vilas, but headed by the four expansions of Krishna, which is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna. Sometimes the Lord thinks of himself as a cowherd boy, and sometimes he thinks of himself as Vasudev's sons, a Kshatriya prince, and this thinking of Krishna is called his pastimes. So this is the Vilasa. Okay, when he thinks like that, that's his different form. So he's a cowherd boy, and then he thinks to be Vasudev's son. That's a Vilasa Rupa, which is the Vasudev's son, which is a Kshatriya. That's another Rupa of Krishna. But when he thinks, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be this, that's Vilasa Rupa. Okay, so actually, he is the same form in his Vaibhava Prakash. He is the same form in his Vaibhava Prakash. So there's no difference between these two, Vilasa and Vaibhava Prakash. There's no difference, okay? And Prabhava Prakash. There's no difference. There's no difference. But he appears differently as Krishna and Balaram. His expansion as Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh are the original Chaturvyuha or 400 forms. So, when he expands from Balaram to Sankarshan and Sankarshan, Vasudev, Anirudh, Pradyumna, these are the Chaturvyuha forms, original 400 forms. Right? I hope you are able to grasp. So, Swayam Rupa, Tadekatma Rupa, Swamsa Rupa. Sorry, Avesha Rupa. Swayam Rupa has got Prabhava Prakash, Vaibhava Prakash. Tadekatma Rupa has got Vilas and Swamsha. Vilas has got another expansion, which is the 400 forms of Krishna. And then Swamsha, we will come to it in a minute. So we are here now. Anyone would like to read the next one, please? Next paragraph.
I shall read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
There are innumerable four-armed manifestations in different planets and different places. For instance, they are manifested in Dwaraka and Madura eternally. From the four original four-handed forms are manifested the 24 principal four-armed forms, which are called Vaibhava Vilasa. They are named differently according to the placement of the conch, club, lotus, and disc in their hands. The same four principal manifestations of Krishna are found on each planet in the spiritual sky, known as Narayana Loka or Vaikuntha Loka. In Vaikuntha Loka, Krishna is manifested in the four-handed form of Narayana. From each Narayana are manifested the forms of Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Thus, Narayana is the center, and the four forms of Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha surround the Narayana form. Each of these four forms again expands into three, and these all have different names, beginning with Keshava. These forms are 12 in all, and again, they are known by different names according to the placement of the symbols in their hands.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, just quickly, I'll go to this one. Now, there are also forms of Krishna that are little different from his original form, and these are called Tadikatma Rupa forms. So this is a Tadikatma Rupa. These may be further divided into Vilas and Swamsha. So they can be divided into Vilas and Swamsha. Okay? which in turn have many different features and can be further divided into Prabhav and Vaibhava forms. So they have been divided. This Tadikatma Rupa is divided into Vilasa and Swamsha. And this Vilasa is divided into two more, Prabhava Vilas, the original 400 forms, and the Vaibhava Vilas, which we're going to talk in a minute. Okay, so now let's go to this. Well, we are here now. Okay, there are innumerable 400 manifestations in different planets and at different places. For instance, they are manifested in Dwarka and Mathura eternally. From the four original 400 forms are manifested 24 principal four-armed forms, which are called Vaibhava Vilas. So from the original 4 Chaturvyuha, Narayan is expanded. And then, as I explained before, from Narayan, another Chaturvyuha expands. So I go back again. Krishna, Balaram, Sankarshan, Vasudev, Anirudh, Pradyumna. The 4 comes. Okay. And then from these 4, Vasudev, Anirudh, Pradyumna, Sankarshan, from Sankarshan, Narayan expands. Okay. From Narayan, another 4 Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna expands. So there is 2 cycles of Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarshan. One from Balaram, and then one from Balaram, Sankarshan, and then from Sankarshan to Narayan, and from Narayan, another 4 expands. I hope you are getting it. So there's one here from Balaram, and then the 4. And then from this 4, Sankarshan expand into Narayan. And from this Narayan, another 4 Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna expands. Now, this is what we're talking here. The same 4 principles manifestation of Krishna are found on each planet in the spiritual sky, known as Narayan Loka or Vaikuntha Loka. In Vaikuntha Loka, Krishna is manifested in 400 form of Narayan. From each Narayan are manifested the forms of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Thus, Narayan is in the center, and the 4 forms of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha surround the Narayan form. Each of these 4 forms again expands into 3. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back here again. There are innumerable 4-armed manifestations in different planets and different places. For instance, they are manifested in Dwarka and Mathura eternally. From the 4 original 400 forms are manifested the 24 principal 4-armed forms. So Krishna had got 4 armed forms, but out of those innumerable 4-armed forms, there are 24, which are main, and they are called Vaibhava Prakash. So to put it in simple words, Krishna has got innumerable 4-armed forms like Narayan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshan, Vasudeva, Keshava, and all that. 4-armed forms. But out of those innumerable, there are 24 who are the main. And this is the Vaibhava Vilas form of Krishna. Now we're going to look into this now, how this 24 comes. So we have this 4 here. Okay. Now these 4, there's 4 here. And then from Sankarshan Narayan comes. From Narayan, you have another 4. Okay. From this 4, there is, it says here, yeah. So from each Narayan are manifested the form of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. Thus Narayan is in the center. And the 4 forms of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh surround the Narayan form. Each of these 4 forms again expands into 3. So these 4 forms, they expand into 3. So here you are. Vasudev expands into Keshav, Narayan, Madhava. Sankarshan expands into Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana. Pradyumna expands into Trivikrama, Vamana, and Sridhara. Aniruddha expands into Rishikesha, Padmanabha, and Damodar. Right? So, and these all have different names beginning with Keshava. These forms are 12 in all. Okay? So, this is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. Okay? But we are talking of 24. So, we will come to 24 in a minute. So remember, you have this Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, they expand into 3 each. So these 3 into 4 is 12. Now, these are 12, the expansions, and they come from Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anirudh. 12 plus 4, the original, where they come from, is 16. Now, they are known by different names according to the placement of the symbols in their hands. The 24 actually comes, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh, they expand again into 2. They expand again into 2. And these 2 are Adhoksajan, Purushottama, Upendra and Achyuta, Narasimha and Janardana, Hari and Krishna. All these are 400 forms, and they are all out of the innumerable 400 forms of Krishna. They are the 24 main 400 forms of Krishna. I will quickly take you to this verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where this is all explained. Okay, to understand, it's Madhyalila, chapter 20, verse 174. I hope you are all with me and you haven't lost track. So I will go straight into the purport because we are over time. To understand the difference between Swayam Rupa, Tadikatma Rupa, Avesha Rupa, Prabhava and Vaibhava, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given the following description. In the beginning, Krishna has 3 bodily features, Swayam Rupa, as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, Tadikatma Rupa, which is divided into Swamshaka and Vilasa, and Avesha. The Swamshaka or expansion of the personal potency are Kanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So the Swamsha expansion, which we haven't gone into, are the expansion of Kanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Okay. And number 2, incarnations such as fish, tortoise, boar, Narasimha. So from Shirodakshaya Vishnu, you have all these expansions come from. Because of time, I'm just going very quickly into it. There is also a Vaibhava division in which there are 24 forms. These are 24 forms I was talking about, including the second Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna. These are the 24 forms. The Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna. This is the first one, and this is the second one. This is what we're talking here. The Vaibhava form has got the second Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anirudh. For each of these, there are 3 forms. Therefore, there are 12 forms together. So each of them have got 3 forms, so 12 forms together. These 12 forms constitute the predominant names of the 12 months of the year. So these names, according to the Vaishnava calendar, each month has got name according to Krishna's name: Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Damodar. This is the 12th month of the year according to the Vaishnava calendar. Okay. As well as the 12 tilak marks on the body. Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Vishnuvaya Namaha, Om Madhusudanaya, Om Trivikrama Namaha, Om Vamana Namaha, Om Sridharaya Namaha, Om Rishikesha Namaha, Om Padmanabhaya Namaha, Damodaraya Namaha. So this is also the 12 tilak marks which we put on our body. Each of the 4 personalities of Godhead expands into 2 other forms. So they expands into 2 other forms again. Vasudeva into Adhoksajan Purushottama, Sankarshan into Upendra and Achyuta, Pradyumna into Narasimha and Janardana, Aniruddha into Hari and Krishna. So the forms Vasudeva and 12 Keshava and 8 Purushottama all together constitute 24 forms. The forms are differently named in accordance with the placement of the weapons they hold in their forehands. So I hope that is making some sense. So the last expansion, Tadekma Rupa expansion. So Vilas is one and Swamsha is one. Samsha, from Swamsha comes the 3 Vishnus: Kanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And finally, another form, the 3rd form of Krishna is the Avesha, which is the empowered incarnation of the Lord. As I mentioned, like Prabhupada himself is Shakti Avesha Avatar and Jesus Christ, Shakti Avesha Avatar. So let's go back and finish this particular chapter. As far as Vasudeva form is concerned, the 3 expansions manifested from him are Keshava, Narayana, and Madhava. The three forms expanded from Sankarshan are known as Govinda, Vishnu, and Sri Madhusudana. It should be noted that this Govinda is not the same Govinda manifested in Vrindavan or the son of Nanda Maharaj. Similarly, from Pradyumna expand the three forms known as Trivikrama, Vamana, and Sridhara, and the three forms expanded from Aniruddha are known as Rishikesha, Padmanabha, and Damodar. So we stop here. So as you can see, just to conclude, I did mention in the beginning, it is a bit technical and complicated. Had to go again on these topics. It, if you don't understand it at one go, do not worry. Please go over it again and again. You will be able to understand. So, but the main thing to understand is that Krishna has got three transcendental forms: Swayam Rupa, Tadikatma Rupa, and Avesha Rupa. The original form, who devotees focus and serve, is the Shyamasundara form, the original form of Krishna as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. Okay, and the rest are just expansions of Krishna. Even though if you haven't understood everything, just remember that Krishna is unlimited. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhav samanvidaha. I am the source of everything. The wise who know this worship me, become my devotee. So just remember that. If you don't remember everything, just remember that. Remember, in the beginning, Prabhupada writes, by devotional service, one can understand that Krishna first of all manifests himself as Swayam Krishna, his personal form. And then he writes here, in other words, he says there that there are people who have difficulty to understand all these forms, but if one focuses his mind on Krishna, he will be able to achieve. So they will have difficulty to understand all this. I'm trying to look for it. Uh, where is it now? Proper right somewhere here. That even if people have difficulty to understand all these forms, one can just understand the form of Krishna. That will be enough. Yeah. I don't know if you have any questions, but we're over time. You know, yeah. Hare Krishna. So, do we stop here, Amoga Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm just reminded of one thing, chemistry, which we read, like allotropes of carbon. Like carbon, diamond and graphite are both carbon only. Okay. They are different forms of carbon. Can you say it's something like that? Because exactly the chemical composition is the same, molecular structure is the same, but they are different forms.
Yeah, but
It's something similar like that.
but from that second carbon, where do you get the carbon from?
It's all from the earth. Everything is from the earth only. Both the carbons. See, it depends on how it is, how much pressure is put. If a lot of pressure is put, it becomes diamond.
Yeah. So, but
Otherwise,
here
graphite.
the difference is
Yes.
the second carbon and the first carbon are two different entities. For example, yeah, for argument's sake, they're
No,
two
only
different,
the
isn't it?
physical
It is
form is
not
different.
coming from the first one, is it?
No, 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 no. The physical
Yeah.
form is different. Chemically, they are same.
No, I get that. But what
Uh,
I'm trying to say, they are two independent and different items, correct?
uh, when you say independent, I don't know. It's the same element.
Independent means
Uh,
you have the first piece of carbon.
yes.
You didn't extract the same component from that carbon to make a second one. No.
Uh, I mean, depending on where they are on the earth, they acquire different forms.
Mm.
If it is deep inside, there is more pressure, it becomes diamond.
Yeah, but the difference here with Krishna is that I understand where you're coming from. The
Yeah.
difference here is this. But when Krishna manifested himself in different forms, each and every one of them was a separate individual. So they were same Krishna, but they were two different Krishnas. As opposed to when the
Yes.
yogis manifest themselves, it's from one, a second is coming. You get that? The from one, a second is coming.
Okay.
For example, I give you a candle. A candle
Uh,
is lit, and then you
yes.
take another candle, you lit a second candle, correct?
Yes.
So that second candle is coming from the first candle, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
But in Krishna's case, there's one candle and there's second candle. So there's two different Krishnas, but they are same, but they're two different entities. I don't know if you understand that.
But when you take as a form of soul, is it that different souls like Paramatman, right? They're different, or
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. No.
Oh,
The
oh,
Paramatma, as you can see, is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Huh? Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is
okay,
the Paramatma. Sorry, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Sorry, yeah, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Yeah,
okay,
he's the
okay.
Paramatma, but he is coming from Krishna originally, as you can see here.
Uh,
Yeah, he's coming from Krishna. So it's not one Swayam Rupa and second Swayam Rupa. No, it's one Swayam Rupa get expanded and he comes this. He's one of the Swamsha of Krishna.
when you say expand, what does it mean? It's hard to understand that.
Krishna become a second one, a different one.
It's like duplicate, or
Well, if you want to say duplicate, yeah. But the expansion he becomes are
yes,
called different names according to their attributes.
right.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. What was the thing is? Okay, for whatever the forms are, all the form, any of the forms, as far as we are concerned, they can give whatever. I mean, what we want can be got from any of these forms. Correct. If you want moksha, any of the forms can give it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Isn't it? There's no different
yeah,
as far as we are
yeah,
concerned. Okay. All right.
yeah,
And they are all permanent.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
They are.
they don't disappear like Brahma or something.
No. They're all permanent.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's what I was looking for this.
Yes.
Prabhupada is explaining here. The feature of Swayam Rupa is the form by which Krishna can be understood by one who may not understand the other features. So if you have difficulty to understand the rest,
Yes.
just focus your mind on this one. That's what is here. So this difficulty to understand this is not new. It is quite difficult to understand. So if you have difficulty, just focus your mind, do your devotional service for the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, which
Okay.
is the Swayam Rupa Krishna as Shama Sundara and as the cowherd boy in Vrindavan.
But how about this Rama and Narasimha and all that? They are not coming in this way.
They are coming in this. They are actually uh, part of this. It says here. Prabhupada explains. How does it go now? Prabhupada explains that
Yes.
all this are actually coming from. Oh, I don't know what happened. This.
I saw Narasimha name mentioned, but I didn't hear Rama either.
Oh, yeah. So they're all part of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're all part of this. Narasimha, the how do you call that? The 10 avatars and all
Oh,
this.
yes. Yes.
They're part of this. Yes.
Matsya also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very
So
complicated.
it is very complicated.
Yeah.
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 No, sorry. I have to correct myself. It's not coming from this. Yeah, it's coming from the Swamsha avatar.
Oh, Swamsa. Okay. Okay.
Swamsha avatar. Like you see here, the Leela avatar,
Yes.
Guna avatar, Yuga avatar, Manvatar avatar. All this are from the Mahavishnu, and then they all here like uh Narada, Matsya, Narayan,
Mm.
Kapila, Hamsa, Rishabdev, Prithu, Mohini, Raghavendra, Vyasa, Balaram,
Oh my.
Krishna, Buddha, Kalki, and all these are here. So they come under this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, bro.
I don't know what has happened to this, but okay. So should we stop here because we are over time?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Amoghar Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for kindly explaining. It's a very difficult or complex subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it will
It
take
just happened.
some time
It
to
just
gel.
happened. I came on. I came on one day when it's very complex. Yeah. Anyway, no, but I mean, I hope that it makes a bit of sense. But please go back and read it again and again. I'm sure you will
And do you have that Vaikuntha planet, Prabhuji, that blue color circle?
No, I haven't got it here. We have to do a search. Yeah.
Yeah, so that contains these forms. The Vasudeva and the Vasudeva Sankarsana Pradyumna in the Vaikuntha Loka, the four expansions.
Yeah, let me see if I can look for it. Yeah. I hope that you were all with me and you didn't. I know it's difficult, but I'm having some problem with the internet, Prabhu. I don't know why it's taking time. But maybe some other.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Can I share that? Wait a second, Prabhuji.
I don't know what's happening. Oh, you sharing the screen. Okay.
So this one.
Okay, yeah. Great.
So in the document, whatever you have mentioned, Vasudeva, under Vasudeva, we have got three expansions and again two more expansions. This is Vasudeva, and then again next to Narayana, and then Madhava here, and then Keshava is here, and then Shri Madhu. What is that?
Can't see it properly.
No, this is yeah, this is one name, and then again there is another name is given. So this is Shri Purushottama, and then this is Prishikesh, I think. So these five names, one, two, three, four, five, six. These six are together. I think six are mentioned there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so under this one, a document, that's all. So this is Vasudeva and Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Adokshaja, and Purushottama. So these six forms are coming as one set, and under six forms coming as another set. So so just was trying to see those.
Yeah.
6 cross 4, 24 forms within 24 forms within this circle. In the middle, Narayana is here, and then in the outer circle, Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And then next circle, there are 24 forms with those names that you have mentioned. So just was trying to put, and then
yeah.
That's it. Thank you so much.
No problem, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so dear devotees, if you have got any comments to Prabhuji, kindly share, or any questions, kindly ask. Okay, if there are no questions, then we shall conclude our session. So I request all devotees kindly unmute and do loud Hari Bols to three loud Hari Bols to Vihari Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hari
Shila
Bol.
Prabhupada.
Hari Bol.
Shila Prabhupada.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Okay.
Hari Bol.
If you are all happy, then we shall move to the next part of our program, Prabhuji. Next more prayers and then conclude the session.
Yeah. Vanchakarpatar Vyasa Vipasa Vyavachavati Dano Bhavin. Krishna. Jai. Okay. Someone would like to sing the prayers?
I can.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya
Prahlad Ahladayini
Praladayini
Hiranyakashipurvaksha
Hiranyakashipurvaksha
Siladhankanakalaye
Shilatankanakalaye
इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहो
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहो
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
यतो यतो यमिततो नरसिंहो
यतो यतो यमिततो नरसिंह
बहे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो
बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
बहे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो
बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
नरसिंहामदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये
तव करकमलवरे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नखा अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृता केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नखा अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय
निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा बोल
श्री भगवान की
जय
जय
जय प्रहलाद महाराज की
जय।
जय
नित्याय गौ प्रेमानंदे
हरे
हरि
हरे
हरि बोल.
हरे कृष्ण.
Very beautiful, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much, all devotees. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Okay, so we're 9:30. So if you're all happy, then we shall conclude our session.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Amar Prabhuji, for joining this evening.
No problem. It's a pleasure, Prabhu. Thank you.
We hope to see you again, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay, so our next teachings of Lord Chaitanya, it is on next Monday, that is 16th of September.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all from the updates perspective. Okay, vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
And
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a Krishna consciousness, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.